The natural world's a living, breathing system. Dynamic, interconnected, and astonishingly complex. Yet too often, our attempts to manage it overlook this complexity, leading to unintended outcomes. My name is Matt Smith. I'm an engineer, wildlife tracker, environmentalist, and the founder of Wild's End Solutions. In my work, I use systems thinking and a deep connection with the natural world to understand the environment holistically. By embracing this understanding, we can create solutions that work with nature, delivering sustainable results that last. Join me in this series as we explore how systems thinking can transform the way we manage our environment. Whether you're a green space manager, a corporate sustainability leader, or simply someone passionate about the natural world. I want to take you on a journey into a concept that shapes everything, from the ecosystems around us to the businesses we work for, and even the communities we live in. This concept is complexity, and it's at the heart of something called systems thinking. Understanding complex systems isn't just for scientists or strategists. It's for anyone who wants to make a real lasting impact. Whether you're managing a green space, developing corporate sustainability strategies, or simply curious about how the world works, systems thinking provides a framework for seeing the bigger picture and acting within it. Let's start with the basics. What do we mean by complex systems? And why are they so important? First, it's important to understand the difference between simple, complicated, and complex systems. In a simple system, the relationship between cause and effect is obvious. Boiling an egg is a simple process, but you know the outcome if you follow the steps. In a complicated system, it's more intricate. Take a car, it has thousands of parts, but if you understand the engineering and you follow the instructions, the outcome is entirely predictable. Now let's talk about complex systems. Unlike simple or complicated systems, complex systems are unpredictable and adaptive. They don't behave in linear, predictable ways because they're made up of interconnected parts that influence each other. The interactions create behaviours that can't be easily predicted by looking at the parts individually. Take a forest, for example. It's not simply a collection of trees. It's a living system where everything, from the soil microbes, the birds and the trees, has a part to play. If you disrupt a process, or you remove a species, it can have a ripple effect across the entire ecosystem, a result in behaviour you can't entirely predict. So what defines complex systems? Each element influences others, often in ways that aren't immediately obvious. A change in one part of the system, like introducing a new predator, can cascade through the whole system. Complex systems often exhibit behaviours or patterns that aren't present in the individual components. For instance, a murmuration of starlings creates mesmerising shapes in the sky. No single bird is in charge, the pattern emerges from their interactions. Complex systems evolve over time. They respond to changes in their environment, sometimes in ways that enhance resilience, and other times in ways that lead to collapse. In complex systems, you can't always predict outcomes, even if you understand the components. That's why attempts to manage them often come with unintended consequences. Now that we've defined complexity, let's talk about systems thinking. At its core, systems thinking is a way of understanding and managing complex systems. Instead of focusing on isolated parts, it considers the whole and how the parts interact. Here's a practical example. Imagine a company trying to reduce its carbon footprint. A common approach might focus on one area, like improving energy efficiency in their buildings. But that's only part of the system. Systems thinking asks deeper questions. How are raw materials sourced? What's the environmental impact of supply chains? And how can employees and customers be engaged in sustainability efforts? Systems thinking shifts the focus from quick fixes to long-term solutions that address the root cause of issues. Nature offers some of the best examples of systems thinking in action. Let's return to the forest. A healthy forest doesn't just grow, it thrives because of diversity and adaptability. It doesn't rely on a single species or process. Instead, it's the interplay of plants, animals, fungi, and even non-living elements like water and minerals that create resilience. When designing green spaces or restoring ecosystems, I apply these lessons. I don't just plant trees. I consider the relationships between soil health, pollinators, water cycles, and human interaction. These are the elements that make the system work as a whole. So how can we apply systems thinking to complex challenges? Here are 3 steps to get you started. Identify the key components and relationships within the system. For example, if you're managing a community garden, think beyond plants. Consider the soil health, the local wildlife, human usage patterns, and the weather conditions. Complex systems are shaped by feedback loops, where the outputs from a process can influence its inputs. These can be reinforcing, that amplify changes in the system, or they can be balancing, that moderate the process. Understanding feedback loops can help you manage and predict changes in that system. Accept that you can't control every variable in a complex system. Instead, focus on making changes that allow that system to adapt and thrive. Complex systems are all around us. They're not just found in nature. They're in businesses, cities, and even global supply chains. By understanding how they work and adopting a systems thinking mindset, we can solve problems more effectively and create solutions that last. In the next video, we'll explore how complex systems are structured and how we can model them to better understand and manage their behaviour. That's where the real magic begins, so stay tuned. Thanks for joining me, and if you found that useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Let's continue building a sustainable future, one system at a time.